You go to TD Jakes' church, and I watch you write a check for $1 million in front of the congregation, and you give it to this.
Yet again, you go to TD Jakes' congregation, and I watch you compose a check for $1 million before the assemblage, and you give it to this man. Was that for the assembly to give more cash in the midst of the unforgiving elements of diversion embarrassments endured, joined by murmurs of dim deeds, for example, claimed blood penances for distinction and abundance today? Go along with us as we investigate the most recent Hollywood show, with Monique uncovering the insider facts of TD Jakes that propose. See that he's more terrible than Diddy. Lock in for a ride into the genuine, unfiltered side of Hollywood. Monique uncovered. TD Jakes. Monique, the venturesome and blunt entertainer, has become the dominant focal point, focusing a light on the hid insights of a portion of Hollywood's most unmistakable figures. In her most recent disclosures, she valiantly uncovered industry supervisors, for example, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and an eminent name that can't be neglected, TD Jakes. Prepare yourselves, as the disclosures outperform even the shock worth of Diddy's insider facts. To unwind the total story, we should rewind to 2009, when Monique was luxuriating in the victory of her job in the movie Valuable, co-created by Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. The film got broad endorsement from pundits. Acquiring Monique an Oscar designation, the technique was to use the buzz and start a press visit to advance the movie. Subsequent to winning an Oscar in 2010, Monique arrived at the pinnacle of her vocation as an acclaimed entertainer and a motivation to hopeful craftsmen worldwide. Anyway, her Oscar win additionally prompted unforeseen difficulties. Monica went with a critical choice that mixed the Hollywood movie industry. She decided not to lobby for her honor. This move conflicted with the typical assumptions and practices in the business. As opposed to going on a mission visit for the regarded institute grants, she chose to zero in on her family and profession. Monique later clarified her purposes behind declining to lobby for the movie. First, she was reluctant to forfeit valuable family time by taking an interest in celebrations and press trips. Furthermore, she highlighted that she had no legally binding commitments to take part in such special exercises. In a meeting with the Hollywood journalist, Monique said, I saw Oprah, I'm doing a television show, I'm doing a satire visit, I have a spouse, and I have children, I have a smidgen of margin time, and I will make the most of it, so I'm not going anyplace in life. Out of the fact that I'm not committed to go anyplace, I've done my part as detailed by the New York Times. The entertainer, comic, and moderator expressed that she wasn't lobbying for the Oscars simply to win an honor. She communicated to an Oscars press part, whenever I've been given an honor, it has been a result of the exhibition. What else goes into it? She proceeded with, look, it makes me grateful whenever somebody says they might need to respect your exhibition. I'm thankful at any discussion regarding any honor, yet there's very little I can do about it now. The presentation is done. Monique's choice to oppose Hollywood standards and focus on her family over lobbying for grants prompted her chief, Lee Daniels, marking her as troublesome and uncouth. In a call among Monique and Daniels, he unveiled that she had been debased in the business. Torpedoing includes denying work to specialists because of reasons like being trying to work with Monique, was astonished by this exposure, and addressed why she confronted boycotting. Daniels credited it to her reluctance to adjust to the business assumptions in the most natural-sounding way for him. She wouldn't play the game. Monique's non-adjustment to Hollywood's assumptions came at a tremendous expense. She had selected not to lobby for her Oscar win, accepting that her ability ought to justify itself, yet in an industry driven by governmental issues and unions. Her choice was seen as a selling out during a strong presentation at the Apollo Theater. Monique released a tirade against Tyler Perry chief Lee Daniels and Oprah Winfrey, blaming them for repudiating her from Hollywood. Monique pulled out all the stops as she uncovered the unusual connections she had with Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Oprah Winfrey, and how their activities thwarted her vocation. The fallout of the Oscars occurrence just developed the crack among Monique and Oprah Winfrey. A month after the entertainment ceremony, Oprah facilitated Monique's family on an episode of the Oprah Winfrey Show. Before the recording, Oprah had contacted Monique, illuminating her that her sibling Gerald IMS needed to apologize for attacking her when she was a kid. Monique clarified that she needed no part in the episode, except for gave her a go-ahead for it to continue when the episode at long last circulated. Monique wound up in dismay. The show included her sibling as well as incorporated her mom, father, and another sibling, all minimizing the maltreatment she had persevered as a youngster. Monique Kui felt crushed by this treachery, particularly in light of the fact that Oprah was very much aware of the stress connection among Monique and her mom, and could never have permitted her to take part in the show under typical conditions. Monique's endeavors to speak with Oprah about the circumstance were met with quietness, making her vibe dismissed and left to explore the results of the episode without help from anyone else. The absence of correspondence expanded her dissatisfaction, strengthening her craving for a general acknowledgement that would recognize the aggravation and enduring she went through in 2014. A couple of years after the fact, both Monique and Oprah turned out to be at a similar occasion. Monique saw this as an opportunity to straightforwardly address Oprah raised the irritating issues they had before everyone. Individuals at the occasion, she transparently got some information about her folks' job in the episode and talked about her thoughts of disillusionment. Oprah decided not to remark and made sense of that her family had joined her sibling at the studio without her knowing. Amidst this conflict, Oprah offered a confidential statement of regret to Monique, conveying regret for any hurt she could have caused. At this point, Monique underscored that the expression of remorse ought to be made freely, given the broad reach of their contention, and its suggestions on her own and proficient life. A few days after the occurrence during a show on Staten Island, Lee Daney ventured onto the stage to freely communicate his conciliatory sentiment to Monique for any bad behavior. This obvious a vital event with a striking Hollywood chief, straightforwardly conceding his flaws and endeavoring to accommodate with entertainer he had worked with. Monique was moved by Daniel's genuine emotion, recognizing the earnestness installed as would be natural for him, albeit the general acknowledgement flagged a change in the elements among Monique and Daniels. It didn't kill the way tinging aggravation and harm from the fight. Monique tenaciously called for open acknowledgments from Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry, declaring that their jobs and activities had an impact in her misery. Now, Monique probably held this resentment for quite a long time after this quarrel. In a meeting with Parody Publicity, the entertainer brought up a few interesting issues about Tyler Perry's conduct. Currently, we've all seen those clasps of Tyler Perry making stupendous signals like composing 1 million We'll check before TD Jake's gathering, yet the copying question Monique has is, was that for the assembly to give more cash, or was it really from the heart when nobody's watching? Who is Tyler Perry truly? Monique truly happened about Tyler Perry's activities and whether they hold up when the cameras are off. Everything unquestionably revolves around getting a brief look at the genuine individual behind the public picture. Shockingly, these equivalent inquiries were raised when the dear companion and diocesan T.D. Jake was uncovered for successive lie going to Diddy's scandalous gatherings. Virtual entertainment stages like TikTok and Twitter are abuzz with hypotheses and murmurs in regards to T.D. Jake's support in these lavish get-togethers. While it's significant to move toward these bits of gossip mindfully, the sheer volume of reports and observer accounts request consideration. T.D. Jakes, an exceptionally respected cleric celebrated for his worldly direction and administration, wound up at the focal point of a whirlwind of charges. Online examiners and virtual entertainment detectives declare that T.D. Jakes was a highlighted visitor at P. Diddy's R-reowned parties, scandalous for their abundances and unequivocal exercises. These get-togethers, everything except customary, have started boundless hypothesis and debate in the domain of web-based entertainment. The lines among truth and fiction can frequently obscure, yet there gives off an impression of being a developing agreement that T.D. Jakes, he to be sure gone to these shameful social events. Reports recommend he wasn't an intermittent participant, yet a continuous visitor, causing a commotion and provoking inquiries concerning reality behind his association. Gene Bargan, Diddy's previous security boss, disclosed insights regarding Diddy gatherings, revealing insight into T.D. Jake's cooperation with first-hand experience of the cryptic idea of these occasions. Genin arrangements record adds a stunning layer to the reports. He professes to have seen T.D. Jakes at these get-togethers participating in surprising ways of behaving that appear to be disconnected